and welcome to this class. I am Kerstin Mobani and I'm here to take you on the subject chemistry. The theme of our class today is chemistry and industry, and we are going to be taking a look at the topic chemical industries. Now, almost everything today that man needs and uses has had to undergo one chemical process or the other. From the food we eat, to the clothes that we wear, and even to the houses that we live in. None would have been possible but for the activities that go on in chemical industries. Now, we know that nature has generously provided man with all that he needs for his existence. Most of these materials in their raw forms are useless to man. This means that man cannot use them in these forms. Therefore, chemical industries are there to convert these raw materials into products that you and I can appreciate and use for our benefit. Now, what are chemical industries? Chemical industries are industries that produce higher added value chemical products from raw materials through chemical reactions. Now, when you hear higher added value chemical products, what do we mean by that? Let's use these diagrams to illustrate. Here is an image. This is gold in its raw form. You see that in this form, this gold is not useful to us. In fact, if I had not mentioned that it's gold, you may not even know that it's gold that you and I always think of when we hear the word gold. So in this form, it is almost useless. You cannot use it, it's not beautiful. But look at gold after it has undergone some chemical processes in a chemical industry. It comes out as something as beautiful as this, a gold ring. In this form, you can appreciate it because it looks beautiful. You can wear it. So the value of gold has been increased when it was produced into this form. So that is what we mean by higher added value chemical products. Also, we have another material in its raw form called petroleum. Now, in this form, it cannot be used. We can't use it to do anything. But when petroleum has undergone some chemical processes in a chemical industry, it can produce varieties of fuels, such as the petrol we use to run our cars and the kerosene we use at home to cook. So you see that there are a lot of things that chemical industries are there to provide us with. Some other raw materials that are available for chemical industries are coal, natural gas, petroleum as we have mentioned earlier, limestone, minerals of which gold is one, and even the air we breathe. Now, there are lots of raw materials available for use in chemical industries, and most of them are found under the earth crust or under the ground. There are varieties of chemical industries available. Let us take a look at some of them. We have the heavy chemicals, fine chemicals, plastics, soaps and detergents, pharmaceuticals, glass, the list continues, fertilizers, metallurgy, ceramics, paint, cement, food and drinks. Now we'll just take a brief summary of each of these industries to see what they actually do. Heavy chemicals are bulk chemicals used in the production of other chemicals and in agriculture. This means that heavy chemical industries produce chemicals in very large quantities, and these chemicals are in turn used in the production of other chemicals and in agriculture. Here we can see some chemicals that are produced in very large quantities together. Examples of heavy chemicals are ammonia, sodium hydroxide, hydrochloric acid. For example, the sodium hydroxide is a chemical that is produced in bulk, and it is used in the making of other chemicals that are present in our cleaning agents, such as our liquid soaps and bar soaps. Fine chemicals. These are low volume, high quality chemicals produced to a high degree of purity, used in research and for pharmaceutical purposes. So unlike the heavy chemicals that produce substances in bulk, fine chemicals produce substances in relatively small quantities. Examples of products they make are the drugs we take for the treatment of ailments and other pharmaceutical substances. As you can see here, we have drugs and some pharmaceutical substances produced by the fine chemical industries. Note, they produce these substances under high degree of purity and competence. Pharmaceutical industries. These industries make use of raw materials such as certain plants and herbs to produce drugs used for the treatment of different ailments. This means that this industry mainly produce drugs, and these drugs are used in the treatment of different kinds of ailments. Examples of drugs produced by this industry are aspirins that we use in the treatment of aches such as headache and body aches. The aspirin is gotten from a raw material, actually the bark of a plant known as the willow tree. The bark of a willow tree known as the willow bark. This is a raw material that is used in the production of aspirin. Another popular drug is the quinine that we use for the treatment of malaria. The raw material for quinine is gotten from the bark of a tree known as the cinchona tree. This tree is also known as the quinine tree, hence the name quinine. Next, we have our plastics. These are industries that make use of raw materials obtained by the fractional distillation of crude oil to produce finished products. We'll be looking at what fractional distillation is later. But is it not interesting to know that even the plastics we have around us are made from petroleum? Some of the products made by this industry are bags, such as our polythene bags we use for shopping, household items, such as our air conditioners, pressing iron, electric kettles, kitchenwares, such as our plastic plates, cups, and spoons, building materials. Examples of building materials that are made from plastic are the cables, our pipes, and PVCs. Then, for decoration, some of the items we have in our homes that we use to decorate our sitting rooms and our bedrooms are made from plastic. Soaps and detergents. These are industries that make use of raw materials such as fats and oil to produce soaps and detergents. The fat sources are from beef and mutton, while the sources of oil are coconut, palm, and palm kernel. And you know what we use soaps and detergents to do? We use them to clean our skin, our clothes, and even our environment. The glass industry. This industry make use of raw materials such as sand and other substances to produce glass. So sand is also a raw material, and when it is finally mixed with other substances and undergoes some chemical processes, produces glass. And this glass is in turn used in the making of other glass products such as bottles, mirrors, glass cups, and glass vases. Fertilizers. Fertilizer industries make use of raw materials such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, popularly known as NPK, as their basic raw materials in the production of fertilizers. And we know what fertilizers are used for. Farmers use them to increase crop yield and also to improve the value of the crops. Also, there are other raw materials that are available in this industry, such as boron, zinc, copper, etc. Metallurgy industries. These industries deal with the extraction of metals from their ores. What are ores? An ore is a type of rock that has different minerals and important elements that can be extracted from it. For example, we have an ore known as the bauxite ore. Now, when this ore undergoes some chemical processes in a metallurgy industry, we would have a product known as, or a metal known as aluminium. And this aluminium can be used in the production of some of our cutleries and in the making of the pots we use in cooking. Therefore, chemical processes that are involved in this industry include metal extraction, refining, giving of desired shapes and properties, amongst others. Ceramics. This industry make use of raw materials such as silica and oxides of magnesium, aluminium, thorium, boron, artificial carbides, and nitrites to produce ceramics. When these elements are mixed together uniformly and are made to undergo heating to a certain degree, then they can be used to produce ceramics. Examples of products that are made from ceramics are flower vases and other kitchen items. Also, ceramic products are seen in our water closets, our bathtubs, and our sinks. They are all made from ceramics. The paint industry. These are industries that make use of materials such as carbon, petroleum, and alcohol to produce colored materials that are spread over surfaces for decoration or protection. For building, we know that paints are very important to the finishing of a building. If a house stands without painting, it doesn't look beautiful until it is painted with different colors to beautify it. So say that they are used for decoration, also for protection. Some metals are coated with paint to prevent rusting and corrosion. Another one is the cement industry. This industry makes use of raw materials such as limestone and clay to produce cement. Now this cement, when it sets and hardens in the presence of water, produces what we call mortar that is used by builders in house construction. Also, cement is used in holding of blocks and bricks during building construction. Textile industries. This industry make use of raw materials such as cotton, hides and skin, latex, and animal fur to produce textiles. For example, we can see in our image, we have these raw materials and we have some finished products. Hides and skin here can be used to produce a shoe, a leather shoe. Here we have the animal fur. After it has undergone some chemical processes, can be used in the making of fur jackets that we use to shield cold. Also, we have cotton in its raw form here. When it has undergone some chemical processes, can be used in the making of dresses that ladies wear. Also, the latex we have here can be used in the making of rubber hand gloves. We have the food and drink industries. These are industries that specialize in the production of food and drinks under very high and specific standards that are carefully controlled. Just as the fine chemical industries, this industry as well work with a high level of purity and competence. Chemical processes involved in this industry include food processing, food enriching, flavoring, storage, and preservation. For example, we have a fresh item here known as our fresh tomato. This tomato in its form can only last a few days before it goes bad. Therefore, it's not always available to us because of its nature of decay. But when it undergoes chemical process in a chemical industry, such as the food and drink industry, it comes out as something like this, in tin. In this form, it can be well preserved and it can be well stored, and can also be transported into different places. And when you have it in your home, you see that you're not in a hurry to use it, because in this form it can be preserved for a long time. So this is one advantage of food and drinks industry. Having said this, we'll be looking at the importance of this industry to us as individuals and to the nation. Chemical industries are important to individuals because, one, it creates employment. Chemical industries create employment for graduates in chemistry, biochemistry, chemical and petrochemical studies. Therefore, students or graduates from any of these fields can comfortably work in any of these chemical industries earlier mentioned. Provision of basic human needs. As we have seen, almost everything we use and need are provided by chemical industries. The food we eat, we have the food and drink industries, making sure that the values of the food we eat are increased and are improved at all times. Our clothing, we have the textile industries, making sure that they produce materials that we can use or wear in different weather conditions. We also have the cement industry, plastic industries, and ceramic industries, providing us with varieties of materials that we can use to build our homes. Fostering good health. Chemical industries that are specialized in this are pharmaceutical industries, the fine chemical industries, and even the food and drink industries. All these industries, they work together to make sure that we live healthily by providing us with the needed drugs that are required for us when we are sick, and also the varieties of food items that we consume. Importance of chemical industries to the nation. As chemical industries are important to us as individuals, that is how also they are important to any nation at large. Aiding agriculture. How do they do this? Remember, we mentioned that one of the chemical industries is the fertilizer industry, constantly providing or producing fertilizers that farmers can use to improve crop yield and the value of their crops. And so that is one way. Another way is that chemical industries also make pesticides and insecticides and herbicides that farmers can use to prevent the action of pests and diseases in their farms. Also, in mechanized farming, chemical industries play a very important role. They may not be the makers or producers of the machines, but remember that these machines run with fuels that are produced or made from chemical industries. Creation of employment. On the national level, chemical industries help to reduce the level of unemployment. Remember, they can provide employment for skilled labor and even for unskilled labor. So they help to reduce the population of unemployed individuals in any nation. Fostering national development. How do they do this? Varieties of chemical industries available, pay taxes to the government. Also, individuals that work in these industries pay taxes to the government as well. And so, these taxes become a source of government revenue. These chemical industries, remember we mentioned that the heavy chemical industries produce chemicals that are used in the making of other chemicals. And these chemicals sometimes are exported to other countries that are in need of them. This forms a basis. This is a source of government revenue as well. Now, these revenues, when they come in, the government can use them to develop the nation in several ways. Improving citizens' standard of living. Now, when citizens are gainfully employed, it means that they can take care of themselves. They can provide their basic needs. They can have enough money to pay for things that they need. And these citizens as well, remember we say they pay taxes to the government. Now, these governments make use of these monies that come to them to develop the nation. For example, provision of infrastructure such as good roads, clean water, telecommunications, electricity, health services. Now, when all these things are in place, the lives of the citizens will be greatly improved. You can easily have access to healthcare, to the hospitals. You easily have access to good roads, clean water, and other basic needs. We have come to the end of our class. Let us take a quick summary of all we have learned. We say that chemical industries are industries that produce higher added value chemical products from raw materials through chemical reactions. And we also say that there are varieties of chemical industries available. They are heavy chemicals, fine chemicals, plastics, textile, food and drink, etc. Now, we also say that chemical industries are important to individuals and to the nation. Chemical industries for individuals are important for the creation of employment, provision of basic human needs, and fostering of good health. For the nation, chemical industries are important because they aid in agriculture, they create employment, they foster national development, they improve citizens' standard of living. Let us take a quick test to see how much you can remember from our class today. Which of the following chemical industries produce chemicals used for the production of other chemicals and in agriculture? A. Bulk chemical industries. B. Fine chemical industries. C. Food and drug chemical industries. Well, if your answer was A, then you're correct. Remember we said that bulk chemical industries produce chemicals in very large quantities which are now used in the making of other chemicals and in agriculture. With this, we have come to the end of our class. See you in our next class.